We're cursed in this discussion by a very narrow definition of national security. We've all come to accept that national security equals military forces and weapons, when in fact, as you point out, a national security is more often determined by the health and welfare of its citizenry, the system of justice, whether citizens feel that they're engaged in the country and have a role in the governance of that country. And spending on military is just one small part of national security, but this has become the test of whether a country is carrying its fair burden. So burden sharing with NATO countries has been an issue in this town for decades. Republicans and Democrats have both harped on it because it's kind of an easy way for them to show that they're tough, that they're strong. But let's put this in perspective. What are we talking about here? The world as a whole every year spends about $1.7 trillion on military weapons and forces. 1.7. The United States and our NATO allies account for 1 trillion of that. So more than half of all global spending is spent by the United States and our NATO allies. The NATO allies alone account for about $240 billion. That's what they spend. What are they spending it to guard against? Well, if you think that Russia is the main threat, Russia only spends about $66 billion every year on defense. In fact, its spending dropped by 20% between 2016 and 2017, the last year we have figures for. So its spending is going down. So why this demand for the NATO allies to spend more when they're beset with all kinds of problems that have nothing to do with military, all kinds of internal economic, immigration problems, social justice problems, health and welfare problems? Why? Well, one, it's simple, the 2% solution. It's a simple mantra that is repeated. And two, this directly benefits military contractors. Who makes the money off of this? Well, most of the money that we spend in this country on defense and that the Europeans spend go to a relative handful of defense contractors: Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, et cetera. And they lobby incessantly for these kind of increases in Washington, in NATO headquarters, in the capitals of Europe. And now we have the absurd situation where a 31-year veteran of Boeing, a corporate executive, Patrick Shanahan, is the acting Secretary of Defense. I mean, this is such an obvious conflict of interest. You would think that people would say, well, no, you can't do that. But, of course, this is Trump's Washington, where oil industry executives are running the EPA and pharmaceutical companies run the FDA. So it's become accepted, but it's not right. It's not fair, and it distorts us, and it's dangerous. Just one last fact. If you take Trump at his word that he wants them to contribute 4%, well, that means you want Europe to double their defense spending from about $230 billion to $460 billion. For what? To do what? Where does this go towards? We've lost track of the real security needs we face, and we've become obsessed with spending more and more on military weapons that, in fact, have only a minor role to play in the national security of a country.